There is an Anglican priest in the Church of England. His name is Sam Wells. Incredibly gifted, brilliant guy. And one of the things that he does every 5 years or so is he takes a piece of paper and he goes into a cemetery and he finds a place to sit down and he writes his obituary every 5 years. Somebody would say, well, that's rather morbid. And I don't think that's the case at all, at least not with Father Wells. I think it's an exercise that helps him live life and to live to the fullest possible and to live to the glory of God. We live in a world and we live at such a frenetic pace. We live in a world filled with umpteen distractions. I just met somebody from St. Mark in a restaurant not all that long ago to talk about St. Mark and to talk about some of the deep things of life. And I noticed he stepped away from the table, and I just went around the room, and there were only 10 screens. Only 10, right? With 7 different things on it. A world of distractions. So the tragedy is oftentimes people come to the end of their lives, and your life will come to an end. At some point, it'll come to an end. And people suddenly realize, in some ways, they haven't lived the life they wanted to live. Perhaps part of the problem is they never really took the time to think deeply about those things in the light of the gospel. The question that you will hear in the sermon is, what are you leaving behind, and what will you take with you? What will you leave behind when that time comes for you, and what will you take with you? It's a good idea to take some time today, all of you, and the pastor included, to think about those interrelated questions. Would you pray with me? Our gracious God, we come to you today to this place of worship, this your house. Sometimes we marvel at the fact that it has been here for so many years. It has been a place where people gathered during the Civil War. It's a place where people gathered to hear your word when the market crashed and the bottom fell out. It is a place where people gathered during World War I. People were here when the bombs fell on Pearl Harbor. You have seen us through some incredibly difficult times. And we are in the midst of an incredibly difficult time now. We pray that you would use this hour and these words to speak into our hearts, that we might live intentionally the kind of life that our life would have the character that would bring honor and glory to you. For we ask these things in Jesus' name. Amen. In my life, I have never been a big fan of bumper stickers. I sure as heck ain't going to spend all that money to put some ugly $7 sticker on the bumper of my car. And I guess what kind of leaves a bad taste in my mouth and confirms my opinion of such things is, and this is true, I didn't just make this up for the sermon on Friday morning. I remember one time pulling up, and I don't remember where I was, maybe on Gratiot, who knows, and there was a sticker on the back of the car, and it said, "Honk if you love Jesus." So I honked. And the driver immediately raised his hand to the level of the rearview mirror and flashed the most unexpected greeting with just one of his fingers. I asked Ricky, "What does that mean?" She said, "I have no idea." Being holy people, these are things we just don't know about. I know a priest who shares my distaste for these billboards glued to the back of cars. He said, I once saw a sticker that made this outrageous claim. "He who dies at then I'll kick back with a couple of cool ones. God said to him, "You fool, tonight your soul is required of you." Someone once said that Jesus tells us parables, and oftentimes when Jesus tells us a parable, it's like having a catch with somebody, like having a catch with a football. And there are two things you can do. You can throw the football to where that person is, or you can throw the football in such a way that they have to move and stretch and strain to get it. You can throw the ball where they are, or you can throw the ball where you want them to be. Think about it. That happens quite often in the parables, doesn't it? But this parable comes straight down the pipe like a fastball and ricochets off my forehead. He just clearly states one of the great unchangeable facts of every life in the world. Time's up. Time's up. The shortness of the parable this morning belies its depth and its richness. It sheds light on so much and raises so many questions for people like us. Many of us who have a fair amount of stuff. And yet oftentimes what we don't have. An African bishop visiting America said two things to an acquaintance of mine that have always stayed with me. He said, first of all, I went to your synod convention, and he said, you Americans spend an awful lot of time talking about sex. But you do. And we do. You spend an awful lot of time talking about it. And I know it's hard to believe, but there's actually more to life. And he said the other thing too is, he says, in a way I feel sorry for you because God must have a heck of a time getting to your front door. Having to squeeze between 2 and 3 cars, or a trailer, or 2 trailers, just to get through the driveway, to get to your front door. The 2 cars or the 3 cars, the trailer, the boat, the cottage up north, the house itself, are all good things, by the way, but not the essence of life. Your life, and this is what Jesus is saying to us, that those things are not the essence of life. You make so many plans, and I know this is true for me, though as I get older, I'm starting to live more and more in the present and not wishing the time away, because I am clearly, unequivocally on the downside. You make so much time and spend so much time making plans to go here and acquire this and that, and sometimes, and tell me this isn't the truth, you never really get around to enjoying what you actually have. It's always, well, tomorrow or next week or next year. But where are you now? What have you now? Can you enjoy and take pleasure in where you are and what you have now? I think this is one of the things that Jesus is saying to us. There are situations and challenges and problems and heartrending tragedies, and yesterday in Dayton, Ohio, and in El Paso, Texas, not a tragedy. That's not a tragedy. That's evil, is what that is. Let's call it by its true name. There are so many things that happen to people that we love that cannot be made right with a checkbook or a MasterCard or Visa. These are certain facts of life. One in particular that even the fortune of Jeff Bezos can never insulate you and protect you from. This is what Jesus is saying to you today. At no time do we ever get the impression that the rich gentleman is thankful for the abundance that he enjoys. Now, admittedly, it certainly sounds like I would imagine he worked really, really hard. He was diligent, he was industrious, and he was successful. And yet, even people who are industrious and work hard and are successful find a way, like a Bill Gates or a Warren Buffett or Larry Page at Google, to not only enjoy their abundance, joy, planning on giving it away in the most judicious fashion possible. Great wealth implies responsibility. This is what Jesus is saying to us today. What is really important in life? What stands and lasts for all of eternity? This is what Jesus is asking you today. There's a story of a selfish, cantankerous man whose life was essentially about accruing more and more and more stuff, and he died suddenly, which sometimes happens. Well, after the funeral, the family got together and the will was read, and in it there was a strange statement. In preparation for eternity, he said basically he had left a bag of money in the attic, which he would retrieve promptly after dying. And so you can imagine how curious the family was. They returned home from the lawyer's office and they immediately headed up into the attic. And sure as shooting, there it was, a bag full of 50s and 100s, unclaimed. His wife, tired and abused and sore from years of neglect, was heard to say, maybe he should have left it in the basement. Implicit in the parable is a question, or rather two closely related questions, that can challenge the course of my life and your life. What are you leaving behind when you go? And what are you taking with you? As I said before, two closely related questions that particular individual obviously never bothered to ponder. He never grasped the possibility that, as Paul says, that what is we see with our eyes ultimately is passing away. And what you don't see, that's what lasts forever, Paul says. Why set your mind on things that are passing away when you can set your eyes on those things that, above all, what are you leaving behind when that time comes for you, and what are you taking with you when you go? For myself, I sincerely hope that it is a legacy of love. I hope it's a legacy of compassion, of kindness, and of strength. Like Jesus, I pray quite often, actually, that I leave behind me a legacy of servanthood, that my life is communicated to others, that when all is said and done, it ain't about me. It's not about me. And to do so would mean that I and that you have been rich toward God. And as for what we take with us, money won't do me all that much good in a life and a place where everything has already been paid for. But we take with us our Christ-shaped character. We take with us our loves, our love for our family, our love for our friends. We take with us our laughter. We take with us, I also believe, our tears as well. We take our faith. We take our hope. Someone put it so eloquently, the resurrection of the body means that all of those things are not lost to God. He has gathered together all of those dreams, all of those moments. Not a single smile, not a single laugh, not a single tear has escaped God's notice. Just a few weeks ago, we lost an American character, Ross Perot. Ross Perot used to say, and I'm sure that in his neighborhood where he lived, there were people who had a few shekels, if you know what I mean. Ross Perot used to say, my next door neighbor comes out quite often and he says, if I can't take it with me, I ain't going. But Jesus says, you will. So what are you going to leave behind when that day comes for you? And when that hour comes to your life, what will you take with you? Good question.